Hi, I'm Nancy Martinez, your host here at LBR Talks. And today we have Erin Schueller back as promised to talk about some good interviewing tips. So she talks about a step process on what to do before the interview and some great questions to ask during it. So without further ado, let's get on to that conversation I had with Erin. Hi, I'm Nancy Martinez. I am the Director of Marketing and the Independent Retail Floral Customer Channel here at Limbush Roses, and welcome to LBR Talks, where we share nuggets on business and leadership to enhance and elevate your floral business. And today we have Erin Schueller, our HR business partner here at Limbush Roses, back again. She was here at our last episode sharing information on how to start prepping for your next hire. Today we're going to talk about what good questions to ask.
Yeah, it's super important. When we think about hiring, as we talked about last time, it's really expensive to make a bad hire. We want to make sure that you guys make a good hire. So kind of the HR lingo is slow to hire, quick to fire. Now we're hoping we don't fire anyone. It's not the goal, but we want to take our time to make sure that we're really attracting the right candidates and that we understand that they're the right candidates by the questions we ask them.
I like that. Slow to hire, quick to fire.
Quick to fire, yeah.
I was going to say it's really easy to remember, but I had to process it. But that is good. It's a good rule of thumb.
Yep.
So, and I'm thinking slow to hire, and I need someone now.
Oh,
I need someone to help because my candle's burning at both ends, and how do I do that? Give me some tips on getting me through that.
Yeah, it's really tough when you're in that pickle of feeling stretched thin, but I'll tell you, hiring a warm body is never going to be the right answer. It might work out, but chances are it's not, and you're going to create more work for yourself.
It's going to cost you in the long run.
It's going to cost you in the long run, and you're going to have to hire for that position again. And so I have sometimes leaders come up to me, I need someone right now, Erin, and I pause. So last time we talked about really making sure you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Being really clear about that and being pumped about your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today I think we'll talk a little bit about how do you ask a really good question in an interview to make sure that you're getting the right information about who that candidate is.
Yeah. And so these questions, that you want to ask, I mean, whether they're an entry-level person or someone that you want to trust to manage your business, still important to really evaluate and ask a lot of these really good questions. And how do we start?
So once you've done all the pre-work of looking at what you want, and you've got that list of skills that they need to have when they walk in the door, those must-haves, then you've got to think about, how do I understand if they have that? Well, in HR lingo, we're going to talk about behavioral interview questions.
Yes.
So behavioral interview questions are all about talking to someone about their past experience, because we believe and we know that past experience is the greatest indicator of future behavior.
Sure. Rather than, I remember going through some hypothetical interview questions in my past. So no longer that, but actual real life.
Yeah. Hypotheticals, they might be able to talk a good game and tell you exactly what you want to hear because you're pumped about your business. So they're going to pick up on that. But it's not going to tell you if they're actually going to follow through on that. So once you know what skills, how did they do that in the past? And maybe this is their first job.
Sure.
But everyone's been part of, a team, or they've been involved in things. They can speak to that too. It doesn't have to be career experience. You're just trying to find out, who is this person really and how are they going to act when they're in my building?
Okay, good. So let's say on my list of must-haves is, I know my employee is going to be customer facing. So I want them to have really strong customer service core values.
Sure.
What can I do?
Yeah, so if you're looking for someone with great customer service, you want to know that they're going to treat customers in a way that they're going to come back to your business.
Yes, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's what you want. So how do they deal with difficult requests? Well, ask them how they did it in the past. When a customer had a difficult request in your past, how did you handle that situation? And they can answer that in a couple of different ways that would be good answers. So it could be, I talked to my manager because I wasn't sure, and they helped me understand what our process was when we have a request like that. Or I learned that from my manager, so I knew how to handle it the next time. Great. Oh, wow. Now they're showing that they can improve too. Or, I took the time to listen to them. I understood their request fully. I took notes. I let them feel heard. And then I tried to make it happen for them in the end. And then you can ask a great follow-up question like, well, what was their response? They were so glad I was able to get those flowers to the funeral on time. It really made a difference. Awesome. Good. That's what we're looking for.
And you mentioned that follow-up question.
Yeah.
So it's not just asking your first behavioral question, but
if you're not, to the meat.
Yeah. So if you're not getting everything you want, this is the time to get it, right?
Yeah. You want to know who they are.
So keep asking.
Keep asking. So how did you, I gave them what they wanted. Well, how did you know what to give them?
Yeah.
What was the process for making that decision? How did your manager respond? How did the customer respond? You can ask all that. And it's so important to not ask leading questions. Give them just enough information in the question to answer it, but not how you would answer it. Because you want to know, do they meet my values? You don't want to show all your cards because then they'll answer it the way you want. You want to get to know them.
Sure.
So open-ended, so no yes or no questions, something about their past, and then making sure that the question is short. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm guilty of asking 5 questions in a row. And candidates will go like,
where do I start?
What? No, you're asking one question, and then once they've answered, ask those really good follow-up questions. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I would think that another value would be reliability.
Yeah.
So how do you ask that?
Oh, reliability is a tricky one. It's really hard to assess for that, but at our interviews here at LBR, I'm asking our supervisors and our managers to do a couple of things that when the interview starts, sell yourself. Why are you an awesome place to work?
Yeah.
All right. So everything we talked about last time, you are in the floral industry, which means you're awesome. Sell that. 2, you're going to do some fact finding. What's their work history look like? What did they like about that job? What did they not like about that job? For example, if they don't like doing something repetitive and you're looking for seasonal help where they're building the same arrangement a lot of times, probably not a good fit, even if they align with everything else.
Yeah, they don't fit in your scope.
They don't fit in your scope. So in that fact-finding work history, that's where you're going to get at that reliability. How often are they moving jobs? Why are they moving jobs? Really, you can kind of dig in that part where you're asking about their work history.
That's really good. Okay. And then what would be some other motivating questions to ask to make sure that I have the right person?
Yeah, so if they're doing customer service, you probably need them to be accurate with your money too. So you're going to ask questions on accuracy, like, tell me about your experience working with a cash register. What were you responsible for? What was the process that you had to follow for returns? You can ask that and they'll tell you how they did it in the past. If that aligns with what you're looking for, awesome. If not, ask more follow-up questions there. And if you've got something like, I really need a good question on creativity or teamwork, guess what? You could say, hey Google, behavioral question on creativity. And there's going to be a whole list there that really get at those skills that you're looking for that help you ask questions about their past. Don't ask them about their future. They don't know about that. Ask them about their past. That's going to tell you what they're going to do in the future.
Okay, so that's good. So as a deeper dive, if you want a list of questions, our friend Google can really give you even specific behavioral questions, not just like behavioral interview questions. You can go into like what kind you want.
And I encourage you to edit them because sometimes they're not the greatest, but they'll give you a good base to work from to get at what you're looking for.
So make it sound like it comes from you and not the Google machine.
Not the Google machine, exactly.
That's
exactly.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So after you assess for those skills, you want to be really consistent on how you rate people. So take notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I'm meeting with 3 people for one job, I need to be able to be fair and consistent about how I'm evaluating them. So taking notes is really important, and asking the same questions in every interview.
Good. And so there's some things that are just innate to people, right? Some things that are not trainable, but it's who they are that you look for. And then there's other things that it's like, yeah, I can teach this. So what are some of those things?
Yeah, I think part of it is you want to make sure that when you have your essentials and your nice to haves in your list of when I hire. So for a floral shop, maybe you're looking for customer service that absolutely has to happen. Boy, it'd be nice if they'd worked with flowers before, watered plants before, have a passion for it. But you can train that.
Yeah.
You can train that. You can't train someone necessarily to be good with customers on the front. You might be able to train them how to follow your procedures and how you deal with certain things. That's good. But they naturally have to want to be good to your customers. So assessing how they've done that in the past is important. But if you're willing to train these other things, great.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's good. So those things that are really important to you, your must-haves, and they're not really trainable.
They might be trainable, but you might not have the time to train.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. So it's kind of your essentials, like when they walk in the door, they need to have this and be able to do this.
Gotcha.
Like if you have someone that's lifting heavy weight, they have to have that. So you're going to do a third part of the job interview is a realistic job preview. Tell them exactly what they're going to be doing so that they can make a decision if it's a good fit for them or not.
Sure. Yeah, it has to work both ways. Great. Well, I think this has been really good information, and some really key things, takeaways here are obviously the behavioral questions, the what do you really, really want to have, and make sure that those are all checked, right? And then the other part is the nice to haves. We can work within those, and if they make the checks on all the other stuff, we can work and train or deal with that at the time. So,
exactly.
Good. Well, appreciate you, Erin. Thanks again for coming again. I'm sure there's lots of nuggets, as always, that our customer partners here will take away from this. And with that, grow a healthy team and organization at their shop. So until next time, thanks for joining us. I love that one too. That was so good. And I love how Erin just really broke it down into some simple steps. Wasn't that great? I mean, really just getting organized and defining what you really want, and then putting questions behind that and staying consistent, right? So in case you have more than one interviewee, that you know that you're asking the same questions to everybody, and then really driving to what's important, and so you can make that really good hire and having the perfect interview. So thanks again for joining us. I'm going to leave you with the quote of this week, and it's going to be about questions. So the quote says, without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. Thank you, Clayton Christensen, for that quote. So I will have a postable download for you, so you can print that, throw it on your bulletin board, share it, and enjoy it. So until next time, thanks for joining us again, and we appreciate you, and have a great week.